Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Javed Ali from Department of Pharmaceutics, Faculty of Pharmacy, Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi. And today we are going to discuss about a module on application of surfactant in cosmetics under paper cosmetics. In the objective, we are going to see the chemistry and the classification of surfactants, the physical properties of these surfactants which are used in cosmetic industry, the basic theories and principles of emulsion formulation, selection of emulsifier on the basis of HLB, that is the hydrophilic lipophilic balance, and the selection of solubilizers for cosmetics. Now coming to the chemistry and classification of surfactants, the surfactants are defined as the amphiphilic groups having the ability to modify the interface between various phases. Primarily, when we talk of these interfaces, they are two immiscible liquid phases as they can orient themselves in accordance with the polarities of the two opposing phases. When we classify the surfactants, they can be classified as cleansing agents, emulsifying agents, foaming agents, hydrotrophs, solubilizing agents, and suspending agents. Classification of surfactants according to the nature of their hydrophilic parts. The surfactants are broadly classified as anionic, non-ionic, cationic, and amphoteric. Anionic surfactants are the surfactants in which hydrophilic part carries a negative charge, and they are classified as anionics. Example: sodium stearoyl glutamate, magnesium stearate, lecithin, sulfonic acid derivatives, ammonium lauryl sulfate, etc. Non-ionic surfactants are the surfactants in which hydrophilic part is uncharged. Example: cetyl alcohol, glyceryl oleate, glycol stearate, glyceryl stearate, sorbitol oleate, etc. The cationic surfactants are surfactants in which the hydrophilic part carries a positive charge. Example: cetylconium chloride, cetylpyridinium chloride, alkyl imidazolines, etc. Amphoteric surfactants are the surfactants in which the hydrophilic part contains both positive as well as a negative charge. The charge on the hydrophilic head changes as a function of pH. Example: sodium capryl O-amphoacetate, lauryl ampho dipropanoic acid, sodium lauryl-minodipropionate, etc. The present slide talks about the physical properties of surfactants which are used in cosmetics. Physical properties determined for the surfactants are very useful for providing good basis for the development of cosmetic formulation. They can save time as well as money. Following are some of the physical properties: solution properties of surfactants, surfactant polymer interaction in the solution, surfactant adsorption, wetting, and spreading. Solution properties of the surfactants. Surfactants shows a love-hate relationship. And why this love-hate relationship exists? This is just because of the hydrophilic and the lipophilic part with most of the solvent because of their chemical composition. At low concentrations, a system containing surfactant in aqueous phase may contain free surfactant molecules, aggregates, that is formation of micelles, and other possible interactions such as higher level of association, etc., depending upon the chemical structure of the surfactant, composition of the bulk solution, temperature, pH, and presence of species other than surfactant. Most of the surfactants have substantial water solubility, which depends on the nature of hydrophilic head and the length of hydrophobic tail and the ionic environment of the solution. It is also found that solubility of the surfactant in water increases with increase in temperature. At specific temperature called Kraft temperature, solubility of surfactant increases sharply and discontinuously. It has been observed that Kraft temperature varies as a function of both the nature of hydrophobic tail and the hydrophilic head. Below Kraft temperature, the solubility of such surfactant is determined by the crystal lattice energy and the heat of hydration of such system. Above Kraft temperature, solubility of surfactant may increase to the point where surfactant monomers may aggregate and micelle formation may take place. Micellization also takes at or above CMC, that is critical micelle concentration. At critical micelle concentration of the free surfactant monomer become constant and addition of further surfactant will undergo self-association to form micelle. Natural surfactants or lipids may undergo self-association to form variety of structures in a solution, and instead of forming micelles, they form vesicles and bilayers membrane depending upon the inherent molecular geometry or some specific conditions. It is proposed that surfactant association is controlled by the geometry of surfactant and is related to three critical geometric characteristics of the molecule. Number one, minimum interfacial area occupied by the surfactant hydrophilic head group. Secondly, volume of the hydrophobic tail. And lastly, the maximum extended chain length of the tail inside the environment of the core of the micelle. Using these three parameters, shape and size of aggregates of surfactant in the solution can be predicted that will produce a minimum free energy for a given surfactant structure. Now coming to surfactant polymer interaction in solutions, there are many polymeric materials that may have surfactant properties because of their molecular composition and have been used as key ingredients in many cosmetic formulations as a dispersible agent, stabilizer, surfactant, emulsifier, coating agent, lubricant, etc. Surfactant polymer interaction may occur between single surfactant molecule and the polymer chain in the form of simple adsorption or in the form of polymer aggregates complexes, for example, interaction between polymer chain and micelles. Surfactant polymer complex formation takes place in stepwise manner in which surfactant monomers bind to polymer chain depending upon concentration gradient and experimental conditions such as temperature, solvent, ionic strength, etc. These interactions takes place due to the forces such as van der Waals, dipole or acid-base interactions, and electrostatic interactions. The primary driving force for surfactant polymer interaction in the system containing non-ionic polymers is a van der Waals force, as the ionic interactions will be virtually absent. Interaction between surfactant and the ionic polymers and the proteins occurs via electrostatic interaction. Interaction between surfactant and the polymer having similar charge usually do not take place because of minimal electrostatic interactions. Interactions between surfactant and polymers of opposite charge usually takes place in two stages. In first stage, Coulombic attractions leads to lowering of the net charge of the polymer chain, which will lead to shortening of chain length and lowering of the viscosity. This is followed by second stage in which interactions are similar to van der Waals types, leading to an increase in effective charge of polymer chain, which will in turn expand the chain length and enhances their logical behavior. Non-ionic surfactants undergo limited interactions with proteins, which may be the reason behind the mildness of these surfactants with respect to skin irritation. Surfactant polymer complexes have also shown to solubilize water-insoluble substances in greater extent than a surfactant solution alone. Surfactant adsorption. The adsorption is a tendency of atoms or molecules to locate at a particular interface in concentrations which are different from those in the bulk media. Adsorption of surfactant may take place at the surface of solid and solid. It may be liquid or a gas, or as solid and liquid interface. It may be a liquid-liquid interface. It can be physical or both chemical. Surfactant absorption onto the interface between two or more immiscible phases reduce the surface tension between opposing phases. Wetting is a primary characteristics of any immiscible two or three phase systems containing two condensed phases, at least one of which is liquid, is a contact angle of the liquid on the second condensed phase. Effect of the surfactants on wetting is invariable and depends upon the nature of substrate, surface energy of the substance, and the surfactant absorption. The present slide is dealing with the basic theories and principles of emulsion formulation. Emulsions are dispersed system we have seen, which consist of two immiscible liquids in which spherical droplets dispersed phase are dispersed in liquid medium, that is a continuous phase. And different types of emulsions also we have seen: water in oil in water, multiple type like water in water, oil, water and oil type, and so on. Why energy is needed for emulsification? To prepare emulsion, oil phase, water phase, surfactant, and all process, the energy are needed. During the preparation of an emulsion, large oil droplets are formed, then they are first deformed and then broken up. Laplace pressure is the difference in the pressure between inside and the outside the droplet, and it acts against the droplet deformation. So to overcome the Laplace pressure, energy is required. Formation of large droplet is easy as compared to the formation of smaller droplets, as the stress needed to deform the drop is higher for smaller drop. Since emulsions have large surface area, it is thermodynamically unstable, and also energy is consumed during emulsion preparation. Emulsion requires surfactant. Surfactant plays critical role in the formation of the emulsion by first lowering the interfacial tension, which in turn will lower stress required to break up a drop, and second prevent the coalescence of newly formed drops. The another one is a droplet break under shear, where the droplet break in laminar flow, that is the parallel flow, can be achieved due to shear stress. The breakup of the droplet is possible when the deforming force exceeds the interfacial force that maintains the shape. It is also seen that no breakup occurs because the drop cannot deform as fast as the simple shear flow induces deformation. Deformation time of a drop is proportional to its viscosity over the stress applied. For an effective emulsification in colloid mill, it requires high emulsion viscosity. If the dispersed phase is viscoelastic, droplet breakup is very difficult and thus requires another emulsification process. The third is the droplet breakup under high pressure. High pressure homogenization, which is also known as microfluidization, is widely used for producing emulsions in which emulsion or a coarse premix is forced to flow through an inlet valve into a mixing chamber under the effect of a very high pressure. The fluids undergo a combination of elongation and shear flows, impacts, and cavitation. Formation of emulsion is due to the dynamically equilibrium between droplet breakup and coalescence promoted by collisions. Surfactant concentration, applied pressure, number of homogenization cycle has prominent effect on droplet size and emulsion stability. Droplet size is determined by droplet fragmentation and applied pressure. In contrast to colloid mill, the power density is independent of the emulsion viscosity and the viscosity ratio. Therefore, high pressure homogenization is particularly effective for producing emulsion whose dispersed phase is highly viscoelastic and continuous phase has low viscosity. Now coming to role of surfactants. During emulsification, droplets are deformed and possibly broken up, followed by adsorption of surfactant onto deformed and the newly formed droplets. And these droplets may coalesce due to collision to each other and causes coalescence. Surfactants, they lower the interfacial tension, thereby facilitating droplet breakup, and it prevents recoalescence to some degree as surfactant stabilizes the droplets against coalescence as a result of Gibbs effect. Phase inversion emulsification. Phase inversion of emulsion is said to occur when the continuous phase becomes the internal phase, or vice versa, that is, the external will become the internal and the internal will become the external, which occurs due to change in any variables such as temperature, pressure, or proportion of oil to aqueous phase. Phase inversion emulsification is a spontaneous process and it requires less energy compared to other emulsification process. For example, if the evaporation of the continuous phase is occurring, there are stages where there is a inversion of the phases because the continuous phase has become less in the volume. The most common phase inversion emulsification is PIT, which is phase inversion temperature method. The PIT emulsification is based on the changing the temperature, as the name suggests, during which it passes through microemulsion range. The main disadvantage of the phase inversion temperature method is its restriction to non-ionic surfactants. The Bancroft rule states that the phase in which surfactant is preferentially soluble tends to become the continuous phase. For surfactant mixtures containing long chain non-ionic surfactant of the polyethoxylated type and lipids, phase inversion temperature can be adjusted to 60 to 100 degrees Celsius. And for such surfactant, increase in temperature will change the solubility of the surfactant head group. What happens at the low temperature? At low temperature, surfactant is preferentially soluble in aqueous phase and under continuous stirring. Oil and water emulsion is produced. When the temperature is increased, under stirring, a water in oil emulsion is obtained. So, at first, a primary course oil in water emulsion is produced at low temperature. Then, a temperature cycle is applied, and the primary oil in water emulsion converts into the water in oil type by increasing the temperature about the PIT, that is the phase inversion temperature, and finally turns again into finely dispersed bluish oil in water type on lowering the temperature. Emulsifier selection on the basis of HLB. What is this HLB? It is nothing else but the hydrophilic lipophilic balance. A formulator has number of decisions to make in selecting ingredients while formulating emulsion so that formulation having predetermined qualities is resulted. The critical step while formulating the emulsion is the selection of the emulsifier. Selection of emulsifier for a specific blend of proper ingredients can be difficult and time-consuming process. So, to help saving time in selection of emulsifier, HLB, that is hydrophilic lipophilic balance system, has become very useful. When we talk of the HLB of the various surfactant in the range 4 to 6, they are water in oil emulsifiers. In the range 7 to 9, they are wetting agents. In the range 8 to 18, they are oil in water emulsifiers. 13 to 15, they are detergents. And 10 to 18, solubilizers. And HLB value of various surfactant like sorbitol, triolate is something like 1.8. And a higher value of 4.3 is basically shown by sorbitol stearate. Polysorbate 60 shows 9 HLB value, whereas the polysorbate 80 has 10.8. And surfactant like sodium lauryl sulfate has a very high value, almost like 40. The selection of emulsifier or blend of emulsifier is required for material such as oils, fats, fatty acid, waxes, lipid, etc. to be emulsified. So, on the basis of HLB system, for this, determine the required HLB value for material to be emulsified and relate this value with HLB number of the surfactant or blend of surfactants. Use of an emulsifier with an HLB number identical to the required HLB number of materials to be emulsified produces good emulsions. Therefore, knowing the required HLB of material to be emulsified and the HLB number of the emulsifier will ease the formulator task of formulating good emulsion. Selection of solubilizer for cosmetic preparations. Solubilization is a tendency of a substance to dissolve in the dispersed part in a colloidal system. Colloidal system contains usually water as a solvent, a surfactant at a concentration above its critical micelle concentration, an insoluble component incorporated into the micelles. Solubilization will lead to formation of monophasic system consisting of ingredients such as water, surfactants, oil, etc., and the incorporation of the active ingredients into either aqueous phase or oil phase depending upon its solubility. Phase diagrams can be used to appropriate ratios of different ingredients to obtain a specific composition and to predict the composition of the formulation resulting from various ratios of ingredients. Ternary phase diagram can be used to study the ternary system consisting of water, oil, and surfactant. When the systems are produced from four components, one can use regular tetrahedron with different ingredients located on the vertices, or a pseudo-ternary phase diagram can be prepared by combining two of the ingredients on the same vertex. These phase diagrams will show the different possibilities of incorporating an active ingredient into a multi-component system formed by surfactant or surfactant mix, oil and water, and along with these possibilities of solubilization exhibited by different systems. Coming to solubilization in micellar solution, where water insoluble ingredient can be solubilized in an aqueous solution containing surfactant above its CMC, that is the critical micelle concentration, and the solubilization is termed as micellar solubilization. In micellar solubilization, the amount of solubilized ingredient is quite low. Micellar solubilization requires surfactant to be water soluble, that is HLB value is high within temperature range at which preparation is carried out. For anionic surfactants, craft temperature must be below that temperature range, and for non-ionic surfactant, the cloud point must be above the maximum value of the temperature range. Micelles formation starts as soon as a concentration of the surfactant reaches above CMC value. So it is essential to know the CMC of selected surfactant. CMC of the surfactant can be determined experimentally. CMC value of the non-ionic surfactant is less as compared to that of ionic surfactant. So it is advantageous to use non-ionic surfactants as less amount of surfactant is needed for solubilization. Another factor that determines the solubilizing capacity of the surfactant is its structure. Increase in hydrophobic portion of the surfactant will increase the internal hydrophobic portion of the micelle, which in turn will enhance the solubilization of lipophilic ingredients. The maximum amount of lipophilic compound that can be solubilized in different concentration of surfactant in aqueous solution can be determined by mixing the different amounts of lipophilic compounds in aqueous solution containing fixed concentration of surfactants and representing the results in ternary phase diagrams. One can determine the surface lipophilic ingredient ratio that leads to micellar solubilization. The co-solvents such as alcohol, polyglycols, glycerol, etc. can enhance the solubilization of the lipophilic compound in system containing aqueous phase and the surfactant, and also the amount of surfactant required to solubilize lipophilic compound is less as compared to the case when water alone is used. Coming to solubilization in reverse micellar solution, we have seen solubilization in micellar solution, how micelles play important part in solubilizing the ingredients. Reverse micellar solubilization method is applicable for solubilizing hydrophilic components in an oily phase. Here, in contrast to micellar solubilization, surfactant selected must have low HLB value and good compatibility with oily phase. Since they have low HLB value, they are solubilized in the oily phase. Now coming to solubilization in microemulsions, microemulsion is a homogeneous, transparent, isotropic, thermodynamically stable emulsion system consisting of droplets having size ranging from 10 to 200 nanometer. Now the selection of surfactant in microemulsion is dependent on temperature at which microemulsion is prepared, nature of hydrocarbon chain, and the presence of co-surfactant and other related factors. In case of microemulsion, we generally use a surfactant and a co-surfactant. In case of microemulsion, we use a surfactant and a co-surfactant, which in order to stabilize in a more better way, because these are thermodynamically stable system, as the large number of emulsions which are macroemulsions are thermodynamically unstable. Now let's summarize what we have talked about. We have talked about the chemistry which is involved in surfactants, the different type of surfactants we have seen. We have seen anionic, cationic, non-ionic and amphoteric surfactants. We have seen how these surfactants are classified and the related physical properties of these surfactants which are used in cosmetic industry. The theory and the principles which are related to formation of emulsion have also been discussed, and we have also seen how hydrophilic lipophilic balance plays an important role in selection of an emulsifier for the basis of oil in water or a water in oil type of an emulsion, and the selection of solubilizer for various cosmetic products. Thank you.